mathematicians and calculating. कि इससे इतना आएगा, इससे इतना आएगा. Let's do this.
वो कभी होता नहीं है. वो कभी नहीं होता.
Artists can't do that. Artists have to follow the heart.
अभी हम जिंदा हैं.
Your first character improvisation was that.
My first character.
My first character improvisation in my acting class was इस शहर के ज़द्दार लोगों. कौन कहता कि ठकराल साहब ने सिर्फ 75 लोगों की हत्या की है. इनकी गिनती तो 75 से बहुत ज़्यादा है.
Nice.
Yeah. So you know मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ कि
It was yours.
Absolutely. So that is the reason. इससे देसी फिल्म नहीं हो सकती. इसमें ऋतिक रोशन है. इसमें दीपिका पादुकोण है. इसमें अनिल कपूर है. उसमें था क्या? नहीं. ये ओरिजिनल है. करेक्ट है ना? इससे देसी फिल्म क्या हो सकती? इससे देसी फिल्म आप देख नहीं सकते. देसी but classic.
We answered this in the previous session.
Yeah, we did, but yeah. This is a
But
separate one.
fresh question you can ask.
He was lurking in the back.
Yeah, we've answered it.
Thought it was a great question and
Yeah.
decided to ask it again.
Ask it.
I'm just dropped.
वो हिंदी में आ चुका है question. वो गूगल कर लो. चल एक और one more retake.
Hi. Yes, hi. How are you?
You're both co-starring with each other for the first time. When there is a fresh co-star in any part in your career, is there some special challenge or good part of the challenge? In the sense, positive something gives you some extra energy or whatever, extra determination or
Extra determination.
No, of course, I was very excited to work with her.
Say nice things.
And I think everything becomes very easy when two actors come as actors, are focused on interpreting the lines and getting the best out of each scene that's on paper. And with Deepika, that became really, really easy because she brings a lot of realism in her work. And so I was constantly just bouncing off of that, you know. Each line that she says, it is coming from a very, very deep place, and I could tell that this is real. And if I don't maintain that, you know, I might look like I'm overdoing things. So I had to make sure that I'm at that frequency. And thanks to her, I think all the scenes of Minnie and Patty look extremely vulnerable. They look extremely endearing and very, very real. And there's another little thing that helped me a lot. This is when we were shooting for Sher Khul Gaye. And I had obviously put in a lot of effort in getting the steps right. But when I saw Deepika doing the same step, I was like, this is looking so effortless, man.
Now he's embarrassing.
And then I asked her, and you remember this.
I remember this.
I asked her, Deepika, can you just do your step for me, please? And we are on set, cameras ready. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this until I understand what's going wrong with my step. So I asked her to do the step. I saw what she was doing, and then I copied what her style was.
Sure. Basically, I was doing it so badly that we had no choice that he copies me.
You can't say that because सबने गाना देखा है.
सबने गाना देखा हुआ है और आप भी थे वहाँ पर, आप थे. I asked her to do the step, then because sometimes you get very lost in the technicality of the step, and I was getting lost in the technicality of it. जब मैंने उन्हें देखा, I said, this is looking effortless. I am going to now change the step a little bit and do it the way she does it, and that enhanced my dance as well. So thank you for that again. Thank you.
Very sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, Hrithik was my
One,
student.
I find it very hard to believe because I never trust anything he says. But having said that, no, he did mention this to me when we were.
Not once.
I find
It happened
I just
happened
find
3
it very
times.
hard to believe because I think an actor and a dancer of his caliber to say that, and the acting bit I'm hearing, I think for the first time.
No, I have
You have
mentioned
said
this
it
to you
before.
many times.
I just don't take it seriously. But yes, I think it's always special when you work with someone for the first time. It's also, there's a lot of discovering. You don't know. There's so much expectation. He's probably seen my work. I've seen his work. You always build this expectation in your head about a colleague. And when you go onto set, sometimes it's what you expect. Sometimes it's more than what you expect. And sometimes it's just not what you expect. And for me, to some extent, I'd heard about this phenomenon of Hrithik Roshan, but I think I experienced it for the first time. So everything that we've all heard about his craft and honesty and his process and all of that, it is that. and a lot more. And the a lot more is what I've experienced after working with him. I don't think I've come across any actor who is so like he's just only thinking about this all the time. Every line, every movement, and yet so effortless. And yeah, I think what we were both able to do is just be very honest with each other when the cameras were rolling, and I think it is very, very special when you find another actor in front of you who can do the same thing, because otherwise sometimes it's a little difficult. And then it makes it fun, it makes it challenging. Then when your director says you want to do one more take, you look forward to it because you never know what is going to come out of it. It's not rehearsed. And that happens often. You work with people because they have a beat and you know exactly this is what, no matter how many times you do it, this is exactly what you're going to get. And then you have actors where you never know what to expect. So in fact, it's really nice to keep trying different things. And most importantly, I feel like I've learnt a lot from him. I don't think I've extracted his brain enough. I think there was an opportunity because I'm very shy, and so I feel like I'll impose if I ask too many questions, but I feel like I had that opportunity.
Nonsense.
And I didn't make the most of it. But here is a person I feel like you can just learn so much from him. And there are moments where I've asked him questions and learned and observed, and I've definitely taken a lot from this as an actor.
Anilji, the second question is for you. Any memories, because Hrithik assisted his father in some of your films with him. So from there to being your co-star, something you can share? Or maybe Hrithik?
There's a lot that I can share.
No, please.
A lot that I can share.
He's asked me the question.
I want to go first.
Well, I think Deepika is very right when she says that. कि आप ऋतिक के दिमाग में घुसना चाहते हैं. आप कि यार ये नॉर्मल है, ये इतनी मेहनत कैसे करता है, ये अपने किरदार के लिए, अपने कैरेक्टर के लिए, अपनी फिल्म के लिए, जितनी भी फिल्में की हैं, कौन एक. एंड मैं इतना भी कह सकता हूँ कि आई बीन वेरी फॉर्चुनेट दैट आई वर्कड with the best in the world, and for me to say that I would rate him with all the phenomenal actors I worked with, and sincere, honest, and an actor to the core. Hrithik abhi keh raha tha कि I just love acting, I just love, and I want to use my stardom, which Deepika also said very beautifully. But longevity उसी में है. अगर आप सिर्फ 10-12 साल काम करना चाहते हैं तो वो अलग प्रोसेस है. अगर आप 50 साल काम करना चाहते हैं या मरते दम तक काम करना चाहते हैं तो आपको ऋतिक रोशन बनना पड़ेगा. तो तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मैंने बहुत सारे को-स्टार्स के साथ काम किया, बट इतना जेनरस, इतना गिविंग, इतना ऑनेस्ट मेरे करियर में कोई नहीं आज तक.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's I'm saying it very honestly. When you see the film also, you will see जो भी मैंने सीन्स देखे हैं, पूरी फिल्म अब तक जैसे आप लोगों ने देखी है, मैंने भी अब तक देखी नहीं है. मैं भी जितना भी मैंने शूटिंग में देखी और जब मैंने थोड़ा बहुत ADR किया, डबिंग की, you will see, it's a role, very difficult role, very tough role, and he's done it very, very honestly. And I've got this opportunity, so let me speak about Deepika also, if you don't mind.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wasn't a part of the question.
Why some actors and actresses resonate from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, and then somewhere you feel that they cross their country and somewhere they resonate all over the world. कुछ तो बात होती है, ऐसे ही नहीं होता, कि कुछ उनके डेडिकेशन में, उनकी मेहनत, उनका काम, जो ऊपर वाले ने उन्हें खूबसूरती दी है, चेहरा दिया है, आवाज़ दी है, जो उन्होंने दिया है, using it fullest, and always trying to do better and raising the bar. And ऋतिक ने बिल्कुल सही कहा कि जब उन्हें देखते हैं हम लोग शॉट दे रहे, डायलॉग मैं बोल रहा हूँ, मगर जब वो रिएक्शन जो मिल रहा है, मिनिमल, ज़्यादा नहीं है, और वो ज़्यादा नहीं और वो करेक्ट बैलेंस से, and then still conveying it, I think that's what Deepika is. And I'll to Sid, and it's a pleasure. And I, जैसे आप पहली बार कर रहे हैं तो आप दोनों के साथ भी मैं पहली बार काम कर रहा हूँ. So I was also discovering, not only as actors but as people, as co-actors, and बिल्कुल सही कहा कि ज़्यादा वक्त नहीं मिला क्योंकि हम अपने काम में, क्योंकि ये इतनी चैलेंजिंग फिल्म थी, इतने चैलेंजिंग रोल्स थे, और जैसे ही कहा कि एयरफोर्स के बारे में और आर्म फोर्सेस के बारे में, नेशन के बारे में, पेट्रियोटिज्म के बारे में, तो आपकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी 10 गुना ज़्यादा हो जाती है। तो आपकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इतनी होती है कि फिर ये सब वक्त नहीं मिलता है बात करने का, बिकॉज आप चाहते हैं कि यार ये वक्त मिला है तो लेट्स डू आवर बेस्ट। तो जितना वक्त हम लोग यार वहाँ भी जब तेजपुर में, तो जितने भी ऑफिसर्स थे या प्रेप थे या फैमिली के साथ गुजार रहे थे, तो ज़्यादा वक्त हमको मिला नहीं बात करने का। तो पार्ट टू होपफुली बाय द ग्रेस ऑफ गॉड, ऊपर वाला चाहे तो ज़रूर होगा। तो सिद्ध साहब का ये कहूँगा, ही इज़ डेफिनेटली
मेरा सवाल नहीं था
सिद्धार्थ। मैं मुझे मौका मिला, मैं प्लीज
नहीं सर, वो मुझे फ़ोन पे बोल देना।
नहीं, मैं बोलना चाहूँगा कि ही इज़ इन अ ट्रू सेंस hitting the sweet spot of realism and commercialism, and I think this is definitely going to be a film where I'm sure, obviously it's so much happens when a film releases, but मैं दिल से कह रहा हूँ कि this will be a film where when Sid looks back, यार ये फिल्म की थी मैंने, I feel this is something really special you have done, Sid. I want people to see the film, I want people to see our work and decide. So I don't want to just say too much about it, but I'm really proud, and I've really sincerely been one of my best journeys of my career.
Wow, thank you sir.
Working this way.
That's amazing.
Thank you so much. And your journey sir, so it is spectacular.
It's a big journey.
ज़्यादा लंबा मत बोलना, अभी
मैं आगे कुछ नहीं बोलूँगा. Next.
Well, I know you've answered the question, but if I may,
But the question is going to come to you.
No,
there must be so many people.
I don't want to say this to them. I want to say this to you.
Yeah, no.
So I have worked as an assistant while watching you in many films, my dad's films, and I modeled my process of how to get into the film as an actor by seeing you.
Wow.
And I spent 3-4 years doing that, and I was a very good assistant. In fact, even now, I love shifting between being Sid's actor and Sid's assistant.
He's the best assistant I've had.
I love doing that. But as an assistant, मैं आपको देखता था, I used to learn. And then, of course, whatever happened in the journey, अब फाइटर के सेट पे हम लोग सीन कर रहे थे in the corridor. And I had just seen a few scenes of the film, and I was on set with you, and when you tell somebody, when you compliment somebody about how well they've done in a scene, the common reaction is, oh, thank you so much, that's great, I'm so happy, thank you. But when you win a gold medal at the Olympics, or when you win the Wimbledon, something that you have put your entire life and soul and every cell of yourself has gone into something, and then when you get a compliment, there you feel overwhelmed and you have tears in your eyes. So back to the corridor, I had just seen a few scenes, and I came to you and I told you that एक scene है film में which was written on paper as a very aggressive scene. It was full of aggression and anger. And then I saw what you did, and I told you, you have interpreted this scene in an entirely different emotional way. And what you have done is absolutely taken the film from there to there in that one scene. और जब मैंने ये बात उनसे कही, your eyes welled up. You had tears in your eyes. And I was just watching you aghast. Like, my God, this man must have put so much of himself into that one scene that when he's getting to hear that he did well, he had tears in his eyes. This is after 4 decades of doing what he does, still to have the power to give that much into a scene. That day, I again turned into an assistant and I just watched him. And I said, he has tears in his eyes. Because he did one chota sa scene tha ek. And for that, he had put in so much that he had tears in his eyes. And I went to Sid and I said this, yeah, Sid,
He still got tears.
to have that kind of, I hope to God that I can maintain that kind of power in me to be able to give that much of me like you have. Amazing. He still has tears in his eyes.
But I think every actor of our generation aspires to be you in the way that you just
Really.
Your commitment and just the way you are every single day. Everyone sees it and everyone aspires to be like that.
Acting schools should have a symbol of you. You should make a symbol.
But that is true. Really.
लगा देना चाहिए ऐसा banner. Symbolic.
Hi guys, sorry to break up the emotional moment. We are all emotional. We love you, Anil sir. Congratulations. This is Sushri from Mashable India. Congratulations. I think I speak on everyone's behalf. That's hell of a trailer.
Thank you.
My question is to you and Deepika. You know, Pathan, it actually set the tone for the entire year, 2023. With, you know, obviously the many like the 1,000 crores. And it really set the ball rolling. What are your expectations, you know, with this aerial extravaganza, really?
I know people do, but when you make movies for the box office and when you work in reverse, you're just not being true to the process, and I think that always shows eventually. And in the work that we've done before, I know that that has never been the intention. The intention is to tell a beautiful story that the audience is going to connect with, that's going to have a positive impact, and you're going to have a great time while making the movie, because the process is as important as the result in itself. And I think what makes Fighter even more special is this is our tribute and our thank you to every single fighter out there who puts their life at risk every single day so that we are safe.
True.
And so this is our thank you to them.
Amazing. And especially with the kind of year you had, you know, the last one, and even with this, there's Shakti Shetty coming in. A White Lotus 3, apparently.
White Lotus
Okay,
is
you're
yes.
not, but
What is White Lotus?
You don't know the show White Lotus? He's been very busy.
I live under a rock, apparently.
it's a great show. You must catch.
Thanks for exposing me.
Fingers crossed. Yes, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi.
Great seeing you after a long time. I can safely say that this is the kind of film everybody loves watching. Heroes like Hrithik Roshan, larger than life, great canvas.
Well, I'd like to just correct that. In this film, which is what Sid was saying, it took time for me to be convinced about Patty, because Patty is not larger than life. The film is larger than life. I, up until then, was doing these characters which had this emotional arc which was larger than life. But I understood that what Sid is trying to achieve, he's breaking his own mold and constructing a hero, taking aspects of me as a person, finding them and putting them together and saying, hey, this is what I want from you as a human. From that human, I've extracted these bits and this is my character. He's not larger than life. He's not Kabir. He's not Pathan. He is just a guy. Yeah, so you were saying?
And that being said, what I would like to know is that post-lockdown, the big heroes, be it you, be it Shah Rukh sir, Salman, Ajay, even Ranbir Kapoor now, is it possible that we ever see them post-lockdown doing a film that is much smaller in scale? Like say your co-star Anil sir used to do Wo Sahib, or like you had done Kabul and Guzarish. Are there takers for it, for these big heroes to do these films? Do you see the audience coming in for it? Is it possible going on?
Of course. Why would anyone not hope and dream of the scope of our films being as wide as possible?
Story.
To say good stories. I have done many such films that where box office was not in the calculation at all. It was just something that hits your heart. And if I find a script that hits my heart, like a Super 30, Kabul, Guzarish, if something hits me, there is, because I'm a slave to my instinct. As actors, we need to be slaves to our instinct. There's no mathematics in that.
I think he's been such a brave actor. I would interject there, sorry. I mean, someone like him doing, I don't know if I've told you, like a film like Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. I think to do a 3-hero film and a film that on paper it's such a slice of life film. So he's never chased box office. So I think.
See that happening now?
So I'm coming to that. So I think he's very instinctive that way. I think a good story, if it comes his way and it touches him, he doesn't think of box office.
If it doesn't happen, it'll be sad. Because that means we are only sitting as not as artists, but as mathematicians and calculating. कि इससे इतना आएगा, let's do this.
वो
let's
कभी
do
होता
that.
नहीं, वो कभी नहीं होता.
Artists can't do that. Artists have to follow the heart.
अभी हम जिंदा हैं.
The idea of fighter is different for different people. Like the whole
the perception about the fighting spirit that you are raising a testament to is what I'm going to ask you about. I think we are all fighting daily battles in our own lives. Some emotional lows, some personal, professional, psychological, physiological lows. I want to ask you that what is that moment where you felt your lowest and what kept you going to just fight it as a fighter?
We answered this in the previous session.
Yeah, we did, but yeah, this is a
But
separate one.
fresh question you can ask.
He was lurking in the back,
Yeah, we've answered it.
thought it was a great question and decided
Yeah.
to ask it again.
Ask it.
I just dropped.
वो हिंदी में आ चुका है क्वेश्चन.
पर वो कैसे मिलेगा हमको?
वो गूगल कर लो.
दूसरा वाला वो टाइम अलग जाएगा ना उनको.
चल एक और वन मोर
अच्छा,
रीटेक
अच्छा, ठीक.
रीटेक.
So if I can,
Take 5 minutes off,
Yeah,
Randeep.
exactly.
Yeah.
So sweet.
I'm Pragya from Multiply, and my
Hi.
question is to Deepika. Can you recall any stunt in this film that was really hard for you to shoot? You shared it with us.
So obviously, as you know, that this film is in alliance with the Indian Air Force, and there are a lot of stunts the chopper has done, and bits of it. I think if you see the trailer again, you'll see some stunts of it, and we can't really disclose much about the maneuvers and stuff. So if this was Pathan or War, I think we would have spoken tons about it. But this is, we'll allow you also one more question in 5 minutes.
I'll think and then ask.
Done.
Yeah, sure.
But it's actually interesting. I think the response is interesting because usually you would have an actor say or a director say this sequence, this. But the fact that we're actually bound by confidentiality in a way because it is so close to reality
Yeah.
is, I think, what makes it really exciting.
Yep.
Hi everyone, this is Sheetal from Pink Villa.
Hi.
Absolutely love the trailer and I can't wait to watch it in the theatre in 3D as you mentioned earlier.
You were there.
Yeah.
There
That's
we
what I'm saying. They were looking.
I think my question is for you. In
Yeah.
the movie Lakshya, you played the role of an army officer, and here in Fighter, you are playing the role of an IAF officer, right? So as an actor, how different was your approach to both of these characters, and which one did you enjoy playing more?
Well, thankfully, the uniform has some magic here. Every time it reminded me, there are 3 uniforms I've worn, not uniforms, all of them, but like Krish had a cape, a costume. When I wore that, I felt strong. In Laksh, when I used to wear the uniform, it gave me strength. And in Fighter, when I wore the uniform, in a second, you feel the responsibility, you feel the weight, you feel the strength. So uniform se jo ताकत जो मिलती है ना, that is very difficult to replicate. It is something that is surreal. It works, but it's true. You actually feel the power when you wear that uniform.
The specific moment is actually when you zip it up.
Yeah. Oh.
Wear it, and when you zip it up, that feeling is.
और मैंने जब पहली बार देखी थी तो मैंने स्वीट को बोला, "Are you sure you want to take me?"
वो भी एक कहानी है.
वो भी एक-
क्या होता है ना, the uniform is such, it's an overall,
So one.
and
Yeah.
any.
It's a one piece.
I have to say it. कि एक जो ओवरऑल जो है इतना फिटेड है कि if you have 1 ounce of a curve कहीं पर वो हाईलाइट हो जाता है.
Man. Yeah.
So you have to fit
was
into
so
it
difficult.
seamlessly and look like that. And Anil sir saw it and got a little overwhelmed seeing it.
मैंने बोला, "अभी घर का खाना बंद करो." ये जो खाते हैं हम.
And he said मुझे 2 हफ्ते दे before I do the costume trial. And
तो
when he
मैंने-
came 2 weeks later,
मैंने इसके 3 कॉस्ट्यूम ट्रायल किए, फिर भी मैंने then I kept on and I looked, I think, perfectly for the uniform, I think towards the last year.
And it's a strange
That
feeling, man.
always happens.
Because it's a one piece. So you put your hands up, the waist comes here, your crotch comes here. It's like how do I get the perfect fit here?
But still, you feel extremely
it's amazing.
that feeling of pride.
No, but you have to be really fit for it.
yeah, it'll be really fit. I mean, hats off to all the warriors, air warriors. Yeah, really.
Yeah. You tell me.
An air warrior now, bro.
Hi everyone, Kushi here from Anil now.
Hi.
My first question is for Anil sir. So for the past 2 years, we have been seeing you in some diverse and difficult roles. First you were an arms mafia, and then you were a negligent and arrogant dad. And now you are
Negligent and arrogant.
So how did you prepare for these roles?
At home.
It depends on every, here it was first the physicality and then I internalize it. There are certain roles which you first internalize and then go to the, and then you externalize. So it depends. For Animal, it was more internal than the external part of it because I was playing my age. How do I look the part, you know, the walk, the way I speak, and then I did all the research I could do for the character. And speaking to the officers, watching, I think every video or every piece of information I could have of all the officers and generals from all over the world, and you know, watching them, the way they speak. And of course, I always, there's a history because I have also done an army officer in Pokar, very exciting journey. But there was one film which I always I kept on watching, and I keep on watching since last almost over 50 years. And if you all get a chance, you must go on YouTube and just watch the film and the actor in it. It was George C. Scott who did Patton. And the film's name was Patton. And that film has always been my inspiration. I just loved the film. It was the first film which Francis Ford Coppola wrote the screenplay, and he won the Oscar for that. And that was the turning point of his career in a way. And when I was doing my acting course, the first character improvisation I did was also based on Patton. Because there's a book also, so I read the book and I kept on seeing the film. And again, I revisited Patton again. And because you see, this role is, you have to get first the physicality, the external things, and then go deep into it. So every film, every character has different process. For a night manager, obviously I'm playing the worst man in the world. I've never met a worst man in the world. So how do I do it? What do I do? I can't observe anybody because there's nobody the worst man in the world. To a certain extent, of course, I have to be honest, the original itself was brilliant. You already did the role. He was brilliant in it, absolutely fantastic in it. I read all his interviews and saw a lot of interviews, and so obviously there was a reference to my work also. Then I read the book, and he was an arms dealer. So in India, you can't say, yeah, he was an arms dealer. So you go and watch his, like mafia becomes easier, But so that was a tricky part. So then you use your imagination also, and you, in a way, fictionalize and see, and then of course you rehearse and 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 you rehearse, and then you write down, and then you find a pitch, and then you have the pitch, and then you say, is it the right pitch? Then you go on the set and you start speaking the way you rehearsed, and you sound very foolish. And then on the set again you do various takes, and then slowly, steadily you find the correct sur. So that was a different journey. Balbir Singh was a different journey, and this is a complete different journey. So all three have been very different. So it's been very exciting, as Hrithik was saying, that for us for me it's de-stress. I said, when I'm stressed, I said, what do I do? I said, I must act. Yeah. I must rehearse. I must watch, all the interviews and people. So that de-stresses me.
Nice.
So for me, I'll never be stressed. कुछ stress हो, चलो यार, कुछ acting करो. Research करो, कुछ काम देखो, किसी का देखो.
Your first character improvisation was Patton.
Patton, yeah. My first character.
My first character improvisation in my acting class was इस शहर के ज़द्दार लोगों.
वो मेरी जान.
कौन कहता कि ठकराल साहब ने सिर्फ 75 लोगों की हत्या की है? इनकी गिनती तो 75 से बहुत ज़्यादा है.
Nice.
Yeah. So, मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ कि
it was yours.
Absolutely. So that is the reason. आप टॉप गन की बात करें, इससे देसी फिल्म नहीं हो सकती. इसमें ऋतिक रोशन है, इसमें दीपिका पादुकोण है, इसमें अनिल कपूर है. उसमें था क्या? नहीं. ये तो ओरिजिनल है. करेक्ट है ना? इससे देसी फिल्म क्या हो सकती? इससे देसी फिल्म आप देख नहीं सकते. देसी बट क्लासी. That is.
Hi guys, this is Deepika. My question is for you, Deepika. A little similar to what's been asked to Hrithik earlier, but I wanted to ask you as well. Last year you had Pathan, followed by Jawan, which were these big budget mainstream movies. So is Fighter, and from what we know, the next two, including Kalki and
Lotus 3.
That too, and Singham again. Where does this sort of leave you with space for movies like a People or a
Yeah, really.
in this
I agree with you.
point in your career, is there space for that kind of?
Where now space? Lotus 3 is
If
coming
Siddharth
next.
Anand decides to do Fighter 2
क्या
and
होगा
Fighter
अभी
3.
कैसे करेगी अभी मेरी फाइटर 2 बंद करा दी आपने लोटस 3 कर रही है और क्या क्या कर रही है
White Lotus.
वाइट लोटस 3 कब टाइम मिलेगा दीपू
And like I always say, I think you need to be true to the process. I'm not doing Fighter because it's a, what is the budget of the movie?
बिकॉज इट इज डायरेक्टेड बाय मी
Yeah. I think you invest in stories, you invest in characters, you invest in people, you invest in the journey. Now, if that happens to be a 50 crore budget movie or a 25 crore, I'm more than happy to do that. And I've demonstrated by doing that pre-pandemic. In fact, even post-pandemic, Gehraiyaan was one of them. So I'm always open. I've always been that actor. In fact, way before, I've done films like they didn't do well, and so we don't remember them.
Finding
But
Fanny also, no?
I've done Finding Fanny. I've done Chapak. I've done Khele Hum Ji Jaan Se. So there are a lot of these movies that I've always been
Lafange Parinde.
lots of these movies. So as an actor, for me personally, I'm most excited about telling stories, investing in characters. Now, whether that happens to be a 500 crore budget film or a 50 crore, I've never looked at that. I'm interested in telling a story.
This is for Anil, sir.
जी
So congratulations for the stupendous year that you had last
Sorry?
year. The stupendous year that you had in 2023, and I wanted to ask you, when you get these kind of magnificent numbers like 1,000 crore to a film that you did, Animal, and the actor that you are, obviously everyone has seen, but then the stardom bit of it also becomes as bigger, and the level of that increases when you have these 500 crore, 600 crore. Does that sometimes, how does that make you really feel? Also because of the experience and the number of years that you've had in the industry, when your films are like, oh, aaj ye collection hai, and tomorrow that collection. How does that make you feel?
I think Deepika said, I think I just love the answer which she gave, and that's what I always believe in, that how do you use that to do better films, and some films which you believe in, or good films, good stories, it makes it much easier, and that's what even Sid has done with, I feel he's, it was a big, that he had these successes, so he could make Fighter the way he wanted it. Otherwise, it would be very difficult for any other filmmaker to make this film, because it's real, it's authentic, it's nationalistic, and something which Indian audiences have never seen. तो उसके लिए क्या होता है कि कभी आपको ये सक्सेस मिलता है एक फिल्म मेकर की तरह, एक कलाकार की तरह, then how you use it, not only professionally, but in terms of many other ways. What I am for so many years, how do I look the way I look? What is my fitness? Deepika has been talking about mental illness, and I think it has reached out to many people who would be so shy to speak about it, and she's gone all out to speak about it. So that's what it is. There are so many of the actors who do that, and how do you use that stardom? And that's what we do for films, for stories, for personally, nationally. And I had the opportunity of traveling all over the world, and when I was doing all these films, and they were successful films, and I met all the filmmakers, directors, executives, studio heads. The only thing I spoke was about India, and there's so much of talent. I discussed all the filmmakers, all the actors. I said, "तुम लोग मुझे अच्छा बोल रहे हो? I am a good actor. There are thousands of actors better than me in India," and that's what you do. So when you get that opportunity, get that platform, you go and speak. About actors, about filmmakers, about so many other things. I mean, come and visit Rajasthan. Kerala, Kerala, look at us country here. So we just do that. We get that opportunity. People take us seriously. So that's what we do. यार तुम यहाँ वहाँ क्यों जा रहे हो, पूरे दुनिया में ट्रैवल कर रहे हो, हमारे हिंदुस्तान में सब कुछ है, and that's what you do. And people, when we speak, थोड़ा सा seriously लेते हैं हम, नहीं? सुनते हैं, yeah. So I think that's what we do, yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Anil. I'm from Bollywood Hangama. First of all, I think I'd like to also say this on behalf of everyone. We're having an entertaining conference here. Like, the conversations are so good and so exciting.
Oh, sweet.
We're
Thank
so,
you.
Glad that you're part of the round two. Well, my
Round 3 का क्या होगा?
Last day.
You're actually the best round. Warm up हो गया.
question is,
ये peak है. Next one's going to go down again.
ये सवाल शायद पहले पूछा गया है. So I'm going to just tweak this question because we didn't get the right answer. My question is that 45 years, January में कहोना प्यार है आई, so 24 years, 16 years of your career. आज भी
45 years?
One
Me, not you.
You said kahona pyar hai.
We're not talking about anybody's age.
You said 45
You
years.
said 45, she
kahona
said
pyar
never.
hai.
I said 45 years for Anil.
Yeah.
हाँ.
24 years for Kahona.
Oh, 20. Sorry, I missed.
Maths right.
And Sweet 16.
And sweet 16 for Om Shanti Om. My question is that आज भी, before a scene, what is this one thing that you all are constantly fighting within yourself when you all are giving that shot? Is there something that still is a fear in your heart when you all are giving a shot?
Would you like to go first?
You ask me?
Anil sir.
Then of course, yeah, absolutely, yeah. I think the scene has to challenge you, the role has to challenge you, the lines have to challenge you, and the more you feel anxious, and the more you work hard and harder, and that's what you know. And I think a true person who wants to do his best can will never find that person. You can be confident, but never overconfident, but always trying to raise the bar. You know, that's what we are, and that's what we try to do, and because we love what we do, so you know, and we are, you know, enjoy it, have fun with it, and so every day on the set or every day preparing for it is the best years of your life, you know. And matter of fact, I think उससे better क्या हो सकता है? That you are in a profession which you are, you know, that you love, and in that profession you get so much of love. You know, you get to travel, you get to meet such beautiful people, interact with them, and I am what I am, you know, given a good life, and I'm sure I can ask my children, my family, and my friends. So I try to, you know, use that. इससे better क्या हो सकता है, you know? And am I right?
Absolutely. Okay, yeah, to add to that.
Fighting before a shot.
No, I'll just add to that. I think the first effort really is to how to interpret the lines that are in front of you, and to find out how you would say those lines. You know, to you. So you have to bring your humanness, your experiences, and kind of like find that merge where those lines can become you. So that's, I think, the first effort that we all go through. Secondly, you know, you always have a vision of how you want that character to look. You know where he's starting, you know where he's going, so it's really important where that scene is going to come, so that you can, you know, see where in that scene you can enhance the qualities and the characteristics of the character, because you're still painting. It's in the process of being painted. By the end of the film, you finally see what that character was finally about. So this is the time you get to keep adding, finding moments within the scene where you can do something to enhance a quality about that character which is not in the scene. But as an actor, it's your job to kind of like keep inserting moments and gestures and some nuances that will make you understand what that person is about behind the lines. So all of that is actually very, I'm very afraid when I'm reading a scene, because that's something that is unpredictable. It is something you're always searching for. And that search never stops, not until the director says cut and he's got that shot. Us shot ki kahani khatam, ab next shot. So it just goes on and on and on, and that's the life. That's just the life.
And the always fear है कि सिद्धार्थ को अच्छा लगेगा कि नहीं. वो भी तो डर होता है.
डर